Well, hello world. Today is our day of the official hackathon for Make Crypto Mobile, MoFi. We love MoFi here at Celo. We're looking forward to kicking it off to the community, developer community, all you developers, the designers, the dreamers, the doers out there. It's time. Today's go time. Now, I want to remind you that even though today is the official day of the kickoff, that doesn't mean that it's too late to join the party. Go ahead and jump into the hackathon. Let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick. And then I'm going to introduce our special guest. Let me bring up my tab. This is so fun. I like doing the screen shares all the time. But I just want to go ahead and show you how you can get there, how you can join the party for the hackathon. To me, it's a party. It's a developer party. It's for all the dreamers, the doers. Let's go. What you want to do is go to DeFiforthepeople.org. In the URL already selected the hackathon. You just go right up here, click on the hackathon. When you go to DeFiforthepeople.org, slide down and you can select join the hackathon. That's going to take you to Deb Post where you can register for the event and also help find participants. If you don't have teammates, that's a great place to find teammates, join a conversation, chat with the folks in the community. You're part of the community now, so come on in. We have over $2.5 million in prizes and seed funding. This is amazing. Definitely geared towards growing the ecosystem. We're forward thinkers here. And we have fantastic track prizes. Definitely check out the tracks, right? We have DeFi track, the green track, NFT and gaming creator track. Like what? Infrastructure, Web3 interoperability. These are fantastic prizes. And we're not just focusing just like, hey, this is a global round prize. We are looking at the regional areas too, and making sure that we have accessibility for all globally. So check out the regional prizes. We have a fantastic event schedule. Yesterday, we did kind of like a pre-kickoff. Today, this is the official kickoff. Yes, love it. Go on down and you'll notice that we have some amazing speakers. Some folks here might be familiar, judges and speakers. And also, please scroll right on down and you can go ahead and check out some of our fantastic partners. We have Uniswap, Celo, of course, Chainlink, Flory, Moola. It just goes on, the graph full. Please check it out. Give some love to the sponsors. Without further ado, I would like to kind of kick it off here. We have two fabulous people. I'm so proud of you guys. Thank you so much. You both are founders. We have Renee Reinsberg. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Last names are so fun. Marek Olszewski. Did I say that right? Yeah. Oh, well, hey, my last name Camacho. People make fun of it all the time. Come on, guys. Come on. But hey, I'm so proud to have you here. The community definitely looks forward to this event. Maybe we can kick things off. If you don't mind, Renee, share some of those core values. What got us here? I think that would be fantastic for the community, especially those looking into the hackathon and participating in it.
Yeah, no, thanks, Brandy. And look, I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the biggest hackathon we've done ever, kind of really global, which is exciting. And, I know just talking to some of the partners, which, as you can see from the prize money that is put up, they're really excited. And, I think a lot of this stems from the fact that there's already a really strong core community developing around the Celo protocol, and I think everyone is excited to now really accelerate kind of the products that will be available for people all around the world to bring it back to our mission to actually help bring prosperity to everyone, right? And so when we look at the mission and the values, right, obviously the goal is to create a better financial system, but really that means creating all kinds of digital products, right, that let people participate economically. And so, if you're building a play-to-earn game that's helping people earn digital assets and then use the funds to buy groceries, right, that's prosperity right there. And so, no matter what the application, what the product is, there's many ways to kind of contribute towards this amazing mission. When we look at our values, and these are really community values, and you find them on the Celo.org website as well. They're really two big kind of categories. One is around the unique purpose. For all the Celo insiders here on the call, you know that Celo is Esperanto and means purpose. And really, it's about that unique purpose, right? That you bring, the idea you bring, the passion for that idea. That's what we want to see. That's where we want to support you. That's where the community wants to support you. So we would really invite you to embrace that and celebrate that. And related in a way, right? Connectedness, right? You're not on your own here. You're part of truly a community that's here to help. That's here to help accelerate you, and also kind of, what's been happening already is you have different building blocks, right? Someone's building a protocol that another team is leveraging, right? So it's been amazing to see kind of the different Lego pieces coming together. I think this hackathon will be, if you look at the categories that Brandy shared, will be about that as well, right? Whether you're leveraging, for example, the lending markets that are live on Celo, or you're developing things that are cross-chain through optics, right? So there's lots of potential here to, stand on the shoulders of some of the early community members, but also use it to accelerate what you're building and make it a lot easier to get to market. And I think that's exciting. And, fast forward a year, people will be building on top of the things that you start building today. So that's really the spirit here, connectedness, and really people pursuing their unique purpose.
That's amazing. It's like you laid the foundation with the vision from the start, and the vision has been fulfilled and it continues to grow. The ball is rolling so quickly. The last 6 months of Celo in regards to new interfaces that developers can play with at the base layer is fantastic. We have optics is huge. It's not just a bridge. It's literally an interoperability standard for other folks with chains to go ahead and implement this bridge. It's almost like it's a shape-shifting technology. It's just amazing to me. And then Plumo, I'm super excited about Plumo and the mobile revolution that's about to come in Web3. We've seen it when smartphones arise, and it's like, after the initial excitement, what's happened with mobile? Not too much, right? We just keep on seeing advancement, the same old thing year after year with these devices. I like to believe that we are the front runner in Web3. What's your thoughts on Web3 mobile DeFi? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think all the builders here will appreciate this a lot more than when you chat with sort of folks out there who are new to crypto, right? They'll be like, well, what's the big deal? Like crypto mobile, I can just have my Coinbase on my phone and like have my Bitcoins there, right? And it's great, but of course it kind of misses the point about like what is actually possible in sort of this trustless world, and the kind of applications that you can build where you give people full control over their assets, over the information, and the applications they're using, right? And so I think that to me, we're still super early days in terms of what can be built, and I think some builders already appreciate this. To me, it's shocking that Celo is still the only chain out there really that has kind of been built with sort of this mindset and kind of looking kind of towards these mobile use cases, because if you want to reach a big audience, to not have that, it immediately cuts off a lot of potential users, right? And to me, I think for everyone building, definitely worthwhile, even if you're building something that is not necessarily requiring kind of a mobile first approach, but think about how to leverage that as an advantage to attract users, customers that otherwise may take longer to pick your product, right? So that's it's a key differentiator for everyone building.
Yeah, well said. And another thing to note about the current and the future of Celo platform is that we were focused from the start in regards to stability. And so we have a baked in base layer stability in place in regards to CUSD, Euro, USD. Maybe you can touch base a little bit about why that was important and how you feel that impacts the developer lifecycle when they're making applications that are mobile first.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Look, I was just catching up with a friend, and I think it was about a year ago when we last we talked, and at the time there was 500,000-600,000 transactions that had been processed on the network since the launch of the network, sort of at Genesis block. And today I think we're kind of seeing that number on a daily basis, right? So this acceleration in terms of adoption, and a lot of it driven by peer-to-peer transactions, by people transferring some of the stablecoins on the platform, really shows that real-world usage that we want to see. And it's still super early days, right? This is still a fraction of what we hope we'll see, a few years from now. And if we're looking at the community broadly, with the Miston team, for example, joining the community and working on scalability, right? I think we're also probably best positioned to have the most scalable solution for payments. But I think what's often overlooked is that just focusing on sort of what's happening on chain alone is not enough, right? You need to think about the access points. You need to kind of make sure that in each market you have the right ecosystem on and off ramps, right? To make it seamless for people to go between the current financial system and this future financial system. And I think this is where a big investment is happening in the ecosystem. Lots of great community projects and companies out there that are solving that, helping bridge sort of the gap between, for example, mobile money and digital assets like Celo dollars. Of course, stablecoins, when you want to do anything in payments, are essential, are critical, right? No one wants to kind of be exposed to the volatility of a deflationary asset, and so that was clear to us from the start. If we wanted to actually improve sort of the state of digital payments and have something that can be used globally, right? You would want to have a platform that natively includes the ability to create lots of stablecoins that are very stable. And so that's sort of, without going into more detail, really that was the driver for having that be sort of a integral part to the core protocols.
Well said. Well said. Once again, Renee, your relentlessness in Celo is much appreciated. We love the vision you set for us. Renee, CEO of C Labs, job well done. I would like to use that as a transition, stable coins, right? Like, this is really important. Like, I think a lot of developers don't really know about how they can potentially utilize this. And with that, I would like to transition to Merrick, and let's touch base of like, what from the technicals inspired stability? I think a lot of people don't understand that Celo was not only mobile focused from the start, but also DeFi focused. And when you look at the stability algorithm, which is known as Minto, right? I believe I said that correctly, Minto, in our developer docs, which is fantastic. Developers, if you're watching and you're really curious, dig into our docs, type in the keyword Minto, you'll find out some more information. But Merrick, please share with us like the underpinnings of how we got here and why Minto was the DeFi purpose. Because I saw a little thing in there about Uniswap as a potential reason for inspiring this in the first place.
Yeah, great question. So I think if you're going to build applications that help bring prosperity for all, you need a platform that can actually deliver really great platform features for developers. And so that's what we went about trying to build from the get-go. We actually, just a little bit of kind of history here, we actually started by trying to build our own kind of Venmo-like decentralized wallet on top of Ethereum 4 years ago. And we weren't able to build something that was usable and had the performance that we needed to actually reach a really wide kind of set of users. And so that took us down the path of actually trying to build a platform that would then allow us to build this kind of decentralized Venmo. And if you think about it, what are the things you need? Well, stability is front and center, right? You can't have social payments, mobile payments without stability. So we worked really, really hard to build a native kind of seigniorage shares based stability mechanism. And by doing it at the platform level, it actually allowed us to do things that I think some stablecoins built on top of Ethereum actually can't do, which is actually tap into the token economic model of the underlying native asset. And so if the reserve, for example, ever were to start getting to only 2x over collateralized, the Celo blockchain would, for example, start diverting block rewards away from funding the community DAO and towards topping up the reserve. These are things that are really nice that, I think, it would be great if, for example, Maker could get some ETH block rewards to top up its vaults in times of needs. But, by being built on top of Ethereum and not baked into the underlying platform, they're not able to do that. And so that's really nice. Another thing that you need is a way to send that stable value without having to have another asset to pay for those transaction fees. And so early on, we made it possible to pay for gas using ERC20 tokens on Celo. Celo, by the way, if you're not familiar, is a fully EVM compatible chain, which means that you can write in Solidity, and all your work, if you've done anything on Ethereum, can be ported over trivially. But it also has these additional features, right? One is, for example, the ability to pay for transaction fees with tokens on top of the platform. These have to be whitelisted to the on-chain Celo governance. And right now, Celo dollars and Celo euros are whitelisted. So if you're sending those assets around, it's just so nice to be able to pay for that transaction fee natively in those tokens. And if you think you have, a great idea for a new token that should also be a gas currency, then, I think this hackathon is a great place to work on that, and then, have it proposed to the broader community through on-chain governance and get that whitelisted as well. And so definitely encourage anyone with ideas around that to think about that. But yeah, stability is front and center, and then usability as well was something that we worked really, really hard on early on. We knew that public key derived addresses were just way too intimidating for your typical kind of end user, which is why we created this decentralized phone verification protocol. And if you think about it in the context of building a platform that enables really great, delightful kind of mobile applications on top of it, it just makes a lot of sense, right? If you want to have the same experience that you have with kind of a social wallet like Venmo or Cash App here in the US, then being able to send to a name, someone's name, rather than having to kind of get a complicated address just makes sense. And what better place to look up people than your own contact list on your phone? And so that requires the ability to send to phone numbers, and then you can just send payments to people who are in your contact list. And so if you're doing anything mobile related, chances are contact lists are interesting to you. So I definitely encourage you to check out the kind of decentralized phone verification protocol. I'm particularly excited in the context of play to earn games. I think Rennie mentioned that earlier. What can you do if you add social to one of these games, or lightweight Sybil and resistance? I think you can do a lot of really cool things. So definitely encourage you to check that out.
Yeah, play to earn, huge opportunity. Combine that with NFTs and gaming, like the future of gaming is fast and upon us, and largely untapped with Celo. And this is a huge opportunity to developers out there. So this hackathon is geared towards making sure that you have awareness of Celo, its features, EVM compatibility. We're basically setting new standards with EVM chains. I love the fact that you mentioned scalability. Miston Labs is a new community member. Maybe you could share a little bit more about how that impacts mobile and the future of mobile with Celo.
Absolutely. Yeah, so this is really exciting news from 2 weeks ago. Some of you may have seen it. Miston Labs, which is a new company that's formed by a bunch of former DM researchers, really experts in distributed systems, cryptography, programming languages. They came together to start this company, and the company entered a long-term strategic partnership with the Celo Foundation to contribute to the Celo platform. And they're going to contribute in a few ways. I think the first way is around consensus. So Celo already has a really nice proof of stake, very efficient from an electricity perspective as well. Consensus protocol that's been doing an incredible job since the network has launched. But I think Rennie mentioned we've had this exponential growth in transactions on the network, that is likely to continue. And so we have to keep innovating. We have to keep keeping up with the demand. And one really exciting innovation from those team members that started this company, Mist Labs, is this new consensus protocol called Narwhal and Tusk. Technically, Narwhal is a new mempool protocol that allows you to broadcast transactions really efficiently in a way that doesn't require every node on the network to broadcast transactions once or twice. If you think about it right now, every node on most P2P blockchain networks, they receive the transaction the first time through kind of the mempool, and then the second time through kind of a proposed block. And so Narwhal creates a really nice, elegant protocol that eliminates that second kind of unnecessary communication, network communication. And then Tusk is an evolution of the hot stuff kind of BFT algorithm. It's really exciting. And the combination of these two technologies allow you to, they've shown in experiments, get to 140,000 transactions per second when using networks on a global scale. So the kinds of decentralized networks that we know and love. And so that's a lot of transactions per second. And so we're super excited for them to be working on adding this kind of technology to the Celo platform. The other thing they're working on, which is going to be quite interesting, is side-by-side Move support. Move, of course, is this new smart contracting language developed by Diem. I think we're very excited by Solidity. We're committed to the EVM. But I think it's interesting to experiment a little bit and to see, if some of these newer and kind of interesting programming languages, have a place in these decentralized platforms. And so that's going to come. It's going to take a year to integrate with the platform. So sadly, we won't be able to leverage it necessarily in this hackathon. But it's something to look forward to. And, I think whenever you're picking a platform for deploying your applications, you want to make sure you're picking a platform that the community is committed to improving, to iterating on. And, I think through partnerships like this with Mist Labs, I think you can see that, yes, in fact, Celo is going to continue to improve. It's going to continue to evolve in the long term. And so it's a safe platform to pick.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because being forward focused is essential to the life cycle for developers when they're building applications, spending their precious time trying to innovate. They want some security, and that's what's nice about Celo, is that we're kind of a head runner, not at the tail end of things, and there's a bright future for developers participating. So there's no reason to wait for the future. Start building now, because the platform is scaling with mobile app focus and obviously DeFi ready. So this is all about the developers out there. I wanted to ask Renee and Merrick. Renee, I'm going to start with you. What are the tips that you would like to share to the potential hackathon participants or the participants that have already signed up? What tips do you have for them?
Yeah, look, I think to me, it always, even when we first started working on Celo, it's always about who do you build for, and getting as much input on that as possible. So even if you just talk to one or two people who you think would be the people who would use the product you're building early on, and show them the work, right? Show them some ideas, even if it's like something that you draw on a piece of paper and hold it up in a Zoom call, right? It's going to be more valuable than not doing that. So get feedback early and get feedback often. That be my top advice.
Amazing. Merrick, tips?
Yeah, I would say, don't be afraid to try something new. I think hackathons are a great opportunity to learn a new skill set, to, experiment with the new technology that maybe you're not familiar with. So if you're coming from kind of the traditional Web2 space, and, you feel like, oh, you have to learn Web3 and mobile to participate in this hackathon, that may seem daunting, but I think it's also a great opportunity, right? Like when do we get to have, the opportunities to kind of learn new things and then be able to compete for really amazing prizes. And so definitely encourage everyone to kind of go down that path. I think one of the things that Celo does really well is mobile. We have Veloura, we have that kind of decentralized Venmo wallet, but it's also a signing wallet that you can use to sign transactions. And so I wouldn't shy away from really leaning into mobile and building just some really, really great experiences that can kind of integrate into the broader Celo ecosystem.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it seems that during the growth cycle, the user experience has been maturing, and mobile has largely been untapped, and Celo is focusing on that. Veloura, for example, is a great use case of trying to support the mobile side of Web3 and provide access. What advice do you have from lessons learned in regards to Veloura, the user experience that developers can focus on as they're building their projects?
It's a good question. So certainly when you work on mobile, you're reaching a broader demographic, right? There's 6 billion smartphones with active mobile subscriptions out there. It's a huge number, much bigger than the kind of less than 2 billion desktop computers that are out there. And so you're reaching a slightly different demographic, which means that usability definitely is important. The other thing that's interesting is the way that people use mobile phones is also different than the way they use computers, right? Like people tend to have lower attention spans. They might be using it on their toilet. I think there was a study that said that 60% of people use their phones on their toilets. And I think that really says something really important about humanity, right? Which is that 40% of people lie. But I think the underlying point here I'm trying to make is that the way people interact with phones are very, very different than the way people interact with computers. And I think that's both a challenge and also an opportunity. And so to René's point earlier, I think get that feedback early, iterate, and try to make things as simple as possible, right? I think that's why on the Celo platform we've worked really hard to kind of simplify things, right? To pay for gas with the token that you're sending, to make it easy to send payments to people in your contact list. Leverage all of these features to create delightful experiences that are easy to use. So that if someone's sitting on the couch, it doesn't matter that they don't have much attention span because you've just made it so easy.
Merrick, I think we'll need to add another category to the hackathon: best app to be used on a toilet.
No. Although it would be quite interesting. Who knows? The memes that could be generated with that one. Oh, good grief.
Toilet 5.
Mo5 the toilet. My toilet's better than yours. No. Goodness. Well, I'm really excited. Today is really about the developers and getting the hackathon started. I would like to say thank you so much for attending the cast today. René, Merrick, really, really appreciate leading the initiative and the vision and moving us forward as front runners for both mobile technology, scalability of the Ethereum virtual machine, adaptability in regards to use cases for global accessibility. DeFi is finally affordable for folks, no matter the region where you're at. And this is huge because it's been largely untapped for these folks. Now they have the ability for access, and we need developers to start building some fun apps. Maybe it's the bathroom app. I don't know, but that's what this hackathon's for. Tons of prizes. We will accept all interesting and unique projects for review. And there's tons of prizes in the pool. So next up, what we have is a community breakout session. This is an opportunity for all the folks watching now. If you'd like to ask questions, you want to jump in, say hi. We're going to be breaking out to Zoom. And as we gain participants, we can break out into other Zoom rooms. So with that said, for a closing statement, I would like to say thank you for watching, and I sure hope to see you in the Zoom breakout session. Any closing statements that you'd like to provide, Merrick, Renee?
Just excited for you guys. Yeah, it's build.
Yes, build, raise the roof. Let's build it. Build so many projects, the roof is not there. All right. I'm corny. All right, perfect. Let's hack. Yes, I agree. Let's hack. Let's get it done. All right. Thank you so much, Eric and Renee. And thank you, developers.
See you over on Zoom.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.